Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Lisa Kessler, Kessler Insurance, on here today on behalf of Cheers for Charity New Hampshire, and I get to be here with my dear friend Joanne. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Lisa. Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Joanne. I'm with Lighthouse Physical Therapy. And today for Cheers for Charity, we would like to welcome Anna Brown from Citizens Count. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. And please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Sure. So, yep, Anna Brown, and I am the Director of Research and Analysis for Citizens Count. And we are a nonprofit focused on providing unbiased information about issues and candidates in New Hampshire. And before anyone goes, politics, and they want to turn it off, I think there's this huge confusion between citizenship and politics, especially in the Granite State. So, we have a really unique system where we have this so called citizen legislature. 400 legislators paid $100 a year plus mileage. So they're basically volunteers. You'll run into them in Dunkin' Donuts and Market Basket and everywhere else. And there are so many examples of the bills that these legislators work on really being influenced by the public and everyone having a voice in that process. So we try to connect those dots by summarizing the roughly 1,000 bills that go through the New Hampshire legislature every year, which is a crazy high number, and also providing unbiased candidate profiles that show their issue positions, how to get in touch with them, their background, their social media links, all that good stuff.
Which is so great because I know every time I get to election time, I'm like, I don't really know who to vote for. You all you hear are the commercials and everybody's bad mouthing everybody. And so this is great. So we have
Yeah,
a place we can learn about them. And
you are not alone in feeling overwhelmed in the voting booth. I am just as guilty of that as anyone in terms of walking in and going, who are these people? And so, yeah, we really want to be there for that because especially at the local level, you'll find a lot of diversity in their issue positions. The D or the R doesn't mean as much. There are Republicans who like marijuana legalization. There are Democrats who like gun rights. In New Hampshire, we really have that independent spirit.
yeah, and tell us a little bit about your website. I was kind of poking through there and there's so much information. So it would be great to get a high level view of your take on it.
Sure. So we have two large areas. And so we have our first area focused on candidates and elected officials. So elected officials and elections right there in our navigation bar. And so elected officials will show you everyone who's currently in office. If you go to that landing page, you can just pick your town from the drop down menu or even just click it on a map and we'll bring up that whole list of everyone who is your specific legislator, your representative, your governor. And then we also have an area dedicated to New Hampshire issues and those topics. So if you go on that part of our navigation bar, you'll be able to search bills by topic area or keyword. We also have something called an advocacy toolkit, which is just really easy to understand how-tos of how do I write an email to my legislator, or how do I register to vote? How do I find my candidates? How do I write a letter to the editor? All of those basic civics topics that you may have heard about a long time ago, maybe in your high school civics class, but we provide that refresher. And like I said, we try to make it in the simplest terms and put in details there, like also leave time for parking if you're going to Concord, and dress in layers because the committee bill hearing rooms can get kind of hot when there's a lot of people in there, those sorts of details. And lastly, on our website, also another thing I'll highlight, once again, under that issues and topics area, we have a podcast called $100 plus mileage, where each week we unpack a bill with an upcoming hearing or vote and focus on lesser known New Hampshire issues that might not get as much attention, but could still impact you. And I'm just going to throw out there, New Hampshire is full of interesting ones like that. One of my favorite bills was all about chicken trespassing. If you ever have free range chickens in your town, you know this is a hot topic.
That is great.
God.
Yeah, New Hampshire is a beast of itself, isn't it? Like we have our own way of doing things. And
Okay.
the thing when I went through Leadership Seacoast, one of the things that I was very interested in learning is just how easily we can access all of these people in office and introduce something that is passionate to you and a bill you would like. And, do you want to talk a little bit about that process?
Sure. And that's actually one of our advocacy toolkit articles is how do I write my own bill? Because in New Hampshire, it does need to be sponsored by a legislator, but where do those ideas come from? They come from everywhere. There are national advocacy organizations that also want to put in their 2 cents. So why shouldn't it come from you, the public? Many examples. So you can reach out to a legislator. It can be someone who legislates on behalf of your specific district, your hometown, or it can just be any other legislator in New Hampshire who shares interest in the same issues. So actually that chicken trespassing bill did originate with a New Hampshire citizen who was being attacked by his neighbor's ducks, actually. his garden was getting ravaged and there was nothing he could do about it. But also more serious topics. A couple years ago, there was a high school student from the Seacoast who worked with her legislator to bring forward a bill that requires public schools to offer period products for free in school bathrooms. And this is about the issue of period poverty. So really any issue you can think of, reach out to your legislators and you can get that moving forward. This is what the legislative process is supposed to be about. It's about community problem solving, not politics.
Taking notes here. I had a quick question for you, Anna. How long have you been involved and how long has the organization been here? So what's the history of it all?
Yeah, Citizens Count has been in operation since 2008, and it was originally a group of citizens in New Hampshire who were interested in getting involved related to the Shoreland Protection Act. And they sat down and they said, wow, there's really not resources out there for the public to know about what's going on and how to get involved. And so that's where we come in. That's where Citizens Count comes in. I joined the organization over 10 years ago, and I was inspired to reach out to them actually because they came to one of my political science courses when I was in college at UNH. It was a state policy course. And so they were talking about, we really want to get the public involved. We don't want it to be just special interest groups and parties talking to each other. We want to make sure that that public piece is there still. So that was really inspirational for me. And so I've been lucky enough to grow with the organization over the past 10 years.
Fascinating.
How are you guys funded?
So we, like any nonprofit in New Hampshire, will take any donation from $1 on up. Public support is so important. We also do accept different grants. For example, the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation has given us some grants in the past to support our mission. And then we do accept also corporate sponsorships. And you'll notice if you visit our website, we do display some logos from these New Hampshire businesses that have supported us. And this is a specific choice on our part because we never want to have web ads on our website. It's basically a nightmare scenario to have someone go to a source that's supposed to be unbiased and then see a candidate ad, maybe. We all know in the presidential primary season, we're already getting plastered with these ads everywhere. So we do have that small sponsor bar on our website, but they have no say whatsoever over our content or the issues we're covering or anything like that.
Kind of loses that unbiased feeling.
Yeah, we definitely have a different vibe if you got to see those attack ads flashing at you.
Yeah, we do get enough of those.
So how are people finding out about all these great services? Like I know you do some community talks, you go around and work with groups. How can people interact with Citizens Count?
Sure. So you can definitely find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, a little bit on LinkedIn. Sometimes we go on the New Hampshire subreddit. If you're a Reddit person, I enjoy Reddit, I know. And then also, as you mentioned, we are happy to give presentations, for example, Leadership Seacoast. Different chambers of commerce will come and present, different community groups. I've even had local party organizations say, hey, can you just come give us a rundown of what's going on in Concord right now, how we can get involved? And really word of mouth, that's especially important, I think, during election season. That's really what a lot of people know us for, are those candidate profiles when it comes to those state races. You may also hear me sometimes with Jack Heath on the radio or NHPR. I'll come in and jump in for a few minutes to once again try to provide that state angle as opposed to just what everyone's talking about on the national level.
Yeah. Love it.
Now, are there any fundraising? I mean, I would imagine, I mean, I don't know how big the staff is there to keep up with all of this, with 1,000 bills and things going on in there. Like, how are you guys able to fund for yourself? Yeah. Any events we should know about or?
Well, we do plan to participate in New Hampshire Gives this June, which is that statewide celebration of giving that happens in June. All sorts of awesome New Hampshire nonprofits are going to participate. And then also usually in the fall, we'll hold a matching challenge, which is our board leads that fundraising opportunity. And so we will match donations for people who give during a specific window in the fall.
Fantastic.
What are your specific needs? What do you need from the public? Or do you need volunteers at any point, or what do you find are your biggest things?
A huge thing for us is absolutely word of mouth, spreading the word. I think that it's really hard to cut through the noise. Like I said, that dirty word politics, no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to think about it, but there's so much more to dig in there. So I think just raising awareness with people of who we are and what we're about. Check us out on our website. You can become a member for free and sign up for either our monthly organizational newsletter or we have a weekly newsletter that goes out during the legislative session on Fridays that just gives you 10 to 15 bills with an upcoming hearing or vote next week. It's a really easy way to just get a tiny snapshot if you want to get a little bit of that. What's not in the news cycle? What else is going on here that I might want to learn about? And yeah, absolutely, donations from $1 on up. We're a small but scrappy team. And like all nonprofits in New Hampshire, you really know that the donations you give are going to go directly to our services and not some huge national overhead.
Fantastic.
Well, tell us again, how do people get a hold of you? What's the website that they should be looking for?
Yes, so go to www.citizenscount.org. And you can also find Citizens Count on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And our website does also include an email address and a phone number if you want to reach out that way. And we will be happy to hear from you, any ideas or input or questions you might have.
Fantastic. I'm so grateful that you're doing this, Anna. It's just so nice to know that someone's paying attention, right? And can put it all together for those of us who may not have the bandwidth to do all that, right? Like, I mean, what you're doing is not a light load. And there's a lot of information that you're collating and putting together and making available to all of us. It's quite a gift to those of us in the community. So we're grateful for you.
Thank you. That's the goal, man. Democracy is supposed to work for everyone, but we can't all be expected to be lawyers following 1,000 bills and hundreds of legislators. So that we're just that toolbox for everyone else to go out and become those amazing citizens that I think we all want to be. I think we all want to be informed voters and know what's going on besides just the buzzy headlines that are around on Facebook. And so we're happy to be that piece in the puzzle.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Anna. This is awesome. I love what you guys do and I appreciate it.
Thank you for featuring us. You guys have an awesome organization here.
Thank you. Good
Thanks.
meeting you.